The 4 C's are a lie. The diamond companies have been steering us wrong this whole time. There are actually 7 important C's to buying diamonds, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Welcome back, everybody, to The Art of Doing. We seek to inspire you to practice doing new and different things, discover new passions, and explore new curiosities with follow-along videos, how-tos, and explainer videos just like the one you're about to see today. If this is the first time to the channel, I'd love for you to consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell to see what type of great new content we have coming up next. Today we're going to go over the 7 important C's to buying diamonds. This is going to be a regular everyday person's buying guide, and will dispel some of the myths that the big diamond companies have been putting out there to dupe us into paying too much for the wrong type of diamond. Before I get into it today, check out the new Art of Doing t-shirt. I had a giveaway a few videos ago and the demand was great, the response was great, so I'm going to do another one today. Stay tuned to the end of this video to see how you can win an Art of Doing t-shirt. So, there's 7 C's to buying a diamond that are important. The first couple, the diamond companies aren't willing to tell you about. I'm going to break them down in my order of importance. I think the most obvious one, and the one that they're never going to mention in their 4 C's description, is cost. I mean, this one's obvious. It doesn't matter how great the diamond is, how flawless the color is. It doesn't matter what they're offering you. If it's out of your price range, it doesn't matter. This is probably the shortest one I'm going to spend any time on, but I think when you're buying a diamond, especially if you're looking for an engagement ring diamond, cost is the #1 factor. You have so much that you can spend, so much that you're willing to spend. Find that dollar amount, maybe find that range, and find the best diamond that fits into that cost. The second C that we're going to talk about is characteristics. Really, I shoehorned that one in there to make it another C, but it's the shape. Another one that the diamond companies aren't going to tell you about because they want to steer you towards a certain direction. The shape is, again, one of the most crucial components to buying a diamond. If I'm looking for a solitaire earring, it doesn't matter if they're giving me a 20-carat diamond. If it's a heart-shaped diamond, it's not going to be what I'm looking for. Similarly, if you're buying a diamond for somebody else and they want a pear-shaped diamond, it doesn't matter how great of an emerald shape you find, it's not going to be the right diamond. So there's several different types. There's at least a dozen different types. Some of the popular ones are the round, that's the one everybody knows, the emerald cut, which is kind of flat, the Asher, which is similar to emerald but it's square. You've got the pear shape, the heart shape, an oval shape, a marquee shape, which is kind of an oval that's pointed at the end. Let's see, what else? You've got the cushion, which is kind of a square with rounded off corners. You've got the radiant, the princess is a very popular cut. There's many different types, and I'm sure you can find one that's perfect for you. They all have different positives and negatives. The emerald and the Asher are step cut diamonds, and all of this stuff, I'm giving you an overview, but once you start delving in and doing your own research, you'll be able to determine how this fits in for you. The emerald and Asher are kind of step cuts. Most of the other ones are something called a brilliant cut, tons of different facets. But really the shape is a personal preference, and therefore it's not something they can push and sell on you. Now we'll get into some of the C's that they do put out for you. Carat weight, I don't know why they call it carats, but carat weight is thought to have originated from how heavy it is in comparison to carob seeds. I don't know if that's true or not, but today the traditional 1 carat is 200 milligrams. And carat weight is probably the 3rd most important criteria as you're buying a diamond. You fix your cost, You find the shape of the diamond, the characteristics of the diamond that you want, and then you look at the overall carat size. If everything else is equal, cost, shape, and the rest of the C's that we talk about, the bigger the carat, the more chance you're going to buy that diamond. That's another very easy one to wrap your head around. One tip that I can give you is there's magic carat weights. Just for example, 1 carat is a magic weight for jewelers. If you could find a diamond that's 0.99 carats, it's going to be significantly less cost than a diamond that's a 1 carat or 1.01 carat. Similarly, 3/4 of a carat, 1.5 carats, same type of thing. If you're looking for a 1.5 carat diamond, you're much better off money-wise to go for a 1.4 carat than a 1.55 carat. For C number 4, I'm going to bring out my trusty visual aid. This is my own personal 20 carat diamond. I'm just going to show you a couple of the faces of the diamond. The top part of the diamond is called the table. The side of the diamond here is called the crown. Coming right around where the crown starts to turn downwards, this is called the girdle. And this bottom part is called the pavilion. And the very tip of the bottom is called the cutlet. Really don't ask me why they call it that. The reason I'm talking to you about all these parts is because the 4th C is cut. And cut is important because it goes into play with how much light gets pulled into the diamond and then reflected back at you. That's why diamonds are so prized, is because of their fire and brilliance, that the display of the light bouncing back at you. Now, cut is a description of how well and how crafted the diamond is cut out of the rough diamond. The shape has to be just right. The bezels and facets have to be just right to capture the light and reflect it back at you. For instance, if the pavilion is too long, then the light's going to come in and shoot out the bottom of the pavilion instead of bouncing around and bouncing back up at you. And there's a lot of things that go into it. For instance, if the girdle is too wide, it doesn't really change the sight of the diamond, how much fire or brilliance it has, but it's going to add a lot of carat weight to the diamond without changing the size of the face of the diamond. So you're going to pay a lot more for the same face diamond. That's what they call that whole top. And therefore you're not getting as good of a value. There's also how the diamond is polished, how symmetrical all of the different facets look when you're looking at the face. Did they scrape or damage the diamond in production? And these factors really, there are many, many different factors, and they're all different depending on the cut. Obviously, the attack angle between the pavilion and the crown has no bearing when you're comparing a round diamond to an emerald cut diamond, for instance. But there's ratios of how big the table should be to the overall face, the angle that the crown comes up, the angle that the pavilion, etc., etc. You get the deal. The way that the most accepted way that it's graded is excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. Pretty much you're not going to see any poor diamonds for sale. They're the things that they use for chips or almost costume jewelry. Excellent diamonds, similarly, are very rare and don't offer a great value. This is an important factor in choosing your diamond. If you're looking at the exact same diamond and one of them is very good and the other one is good, the very good diamond, when it sparkles in light, is going to give off a lot more blinding flash. And this is one of those things now that you have to start balancing off between, do I want the slightly bigger diamond that doesn't sparkle as much, or the slightly smaller diamond that has more brilliance and fire? These are all things that you have to balance out when you're making your decision. C number 5 is color. This is another easy one to wrap your head around, but the way they determine it maybe a little bit tricky and confusing as you're looking at all these different numbers and letters as they're grading out all the diamonds. Color and the most accepted scale starts at D and goes all the way down to Z, with D, E, and F being nearly colorless, impossible to tell any color. G through J being a nearly imperceptible color. You'd have to hold up an H or an I right next to a D colored diamond to be able to tell that it wasn't a colorless diamond. And anything down from there goes more and more towards the yellow-brown color. When you're talking about pink and blue, black diamonds, those aren't graded like this. They're in their own category. Brown diamonds, they're in their own category. I think that the value here is in that G through J range, where you're paying a lot less for a J diamond than you would for an EF diamond, and you're not going to be able to tell that it's not colorless unless you're holding it up right next to somebody else's diamond. The way they determine this, whoever's grading these diamonds has a set of master stones, and they literally stick a stone next to another stone and compare the two. And if it's got any more color than the master stone they're holding it up to, then it's less of a letter. The next C that we're going to get into is clarity. And this one is a tricky one as well. And clarity is one of the most confusing ones to everybody. So what is clarity? Clarity is the amount of imperfections in and on the diamond. They talk usually about inclusions. This is carbon stuck inside the diamond, a feather, a cloud, imperfection in the body of the diamond, specks of different minerals, carbon usually, but different minerals that were there when the diamond was formed, or even breaks or cleaves inside the diamond. So almost all diamonds have some sort of imperfections in them. These are inevitable in diamonds, and they almost form the fingerprint of the diamond. If you're looking closely enough, you can mark where these imperfections are and be able to tell one diamond from another diamond. The trick with these imperfections is how visible they are, how much they affect the color and the sparkle and the shine, the brilliance of the diamond, and where in the diamond they are. If you can see even under magnification the imperfection in the diamond on the face of the diamond, that's a lot worse than if there's something even visible to the eye that you would have to turn the diamond on its side to see. I'm going to bust out a jeweler's loupe so I can show you how they look at it. So it's a tiny magnifying glass, basically. You put it up to your eye, and you bring the diamond closer and closer and closer until it's in focus. And then you look for your imperfections. Now again, if you've got an imperfection that you can see through a jeweler's loupe right in the middle, that makes the diamond's clarity a lot worse than if you had the same size imperfection hidden underneath the girdle or way down in the pavilion. So the different characteristics, the different grades that they have for clarity usually start with flawless. This is a nearly impossible diamond to find that's actually flawless. It's a 1% diamond. Usually when you hear somebody say, I have a flawless diamond, or it was a flawless diamond, they're talking about a diamond that's graded IF, which is internally flawless. This means it might have some scrapes or polish marks. It might have a chip on the cutlet. And we're talking tiny, imperceptible. You would never be able to tell just by looking at the diamond, even under 10 times magnification, which is what a jeweler's loupe typically is. After those two classifications, you have the very, very slightly occluded. And that there's two of those, VVS1 and VVS2. These are nearly impossible for a trained eye to see this imperfection under 10 times magnification. So you can tell that this is barely going to affect the beauty of the diamond. After that, you've got VS, very slightly, and there's a 1 and a 2 there, and that is barely able to be seen under 10 times magnification. Then you come down to SI 1 and 2, which is obvious under 10 times magnification, and I 1, 2, and 3, which is obvious to the naked eye. Now, when you're actually buying a diamond, the better you can afford under your cost parameters, obviously, the better for the diamond. I find that something that's VVS or even VS, where it's very difficult to see these imperfections, even under a jeweler's loupe, is where you're going to get some really great value. Now, if you're really good and you're doing your homework, you can take one VVS diamond and another VVS diamond, look through your own jeweler's loupe, and see where these imperfections are. And you might find that some of them are hidden a little bit more towards the crown, not quite shown on the table, and are a much better reflective value, much better shine. They have to group all these things together. So in all these groupings, there is some variability in how good this VVS2 diamond is compared to how good this VVS2 diamond is. And don't be afraid to ask to see the jeweler's loupe and take a look at these diamonds and compare several diamonds to each other. And you might find that you're okay with this imperfection where somebody else might grade that one down. So you can find quite great value, depending on what you're looking for, in the different clarity rankings. If you're looking for earrings, I think you can go for a much lower clarity ranking than you would in an engagement ring or a single pendant stone that's really going to be catching the light and catching the eye. Let's get on to the next C. Before we move on to C number 7, if you're getting anything out of this video, please give us a like, a subscribe if you haven't already. Please drop us a comment and share this with somebody that's going through the diamond buying process or could enjoy or get value out of this video. C number 7 is certification. This is an important thing that's also not talked about because there are so many different certification companies. Independent laboratories that grade and compare the different characteristics of the diamond. The biggest and most reputable one is GIA certification. This is the one I would absolutely recommend among any of them. AGS is also a very good one. GCAL is good, and then to a lesser extent, there's some others. And the lesser reputable you get, the less quality this piece of paper that you're buying along with your diamond is. And some people say, oh, this certification doesn't make my diamond worth anymore. And in a way, no, but in a big way, yes. If you've got the certification on your diamond and you're going to resell it, it's going to carry a lot more weight if you've got a GIA cert with it, knowing that you're not sliding something by somebody. When you look at these certifications, they have a very detailed breakdown about their 4 Cs, and you can really compare apples to apples if you have a GIA diamond and a GIA diamond. If you've got an EGL diamond and a GIA diamond, you may find that EGL grades much more loosely. So something that they're calling a VVS2 might only be an S2 with GIA. And if the jeweler is trying to say these are equivalent diamonds, you're going to pay a lot more for the inflated rankings that some of the less reputable certification places will put on a diamond. A good certification is going to show a drawing of the diamond with all the imperfections on the face of the diamond to give that fingerprint and identity to the diamond, and also will put a laser inscription around the girdle. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. You're not going to see it unless you magnify it, and it won't affect the brilliance of the diamond. But I do recommend getting a certification on your diamond. It really helps to take some of the uncertainty that you have as you're trying to navigate all these different C's and decide what's better And what's worse, as you're comparing the carat weight to the clarity, or the color versus the cut ranking. And it really helps to even that playing field for you. My question for you is, have you bought a diamond in the past, and how was your buying experience? Did they try to pull the wool over your eyes and hit you with the 4 C's? Or did you have a good buying experience where they explained things and you felt a little bit more empowered and educated after the buying experience? I promise you guys another t-shirt giveaway. This is the new Art of Doing t-shirt. Again, the response was so great that today I'm going to be giving away 2 t-shirts to anybody who is a subscriber. And all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll pick two random comments from a subscriber and have you get in touch with me for a free t-shirt. So that is your 7C buying guide to diamonds and what the big jewelry companies won't tell you. Hopefully you got some great value for it. Again, give me a like and a subscribe and leave us a comment. Let's always remember to practice compassion. Let's practice humility and practice kindness. And thank you for spending some time with me to help me practice the art of doing. Click the subscribe up there. Some good videos to watch over here. Thanks everybody.